Hi, welcome to episode 44 of the Corner of Knit and Tea. I'm Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Twitter and Instagram. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode and every episode's show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Stash Buckler Adventures in Yarn, where I sell my handspun yarn. And we have a group on Ravelry called The Corner of Knit and Tea. Please come join us. So hi, welcome. It is Sunday, June 21st in the United States. That means it's Father's Day. My father lives in California, so unfortunately we will not get to spend the day with him, but I will probably call him shortly. It's about 10:30 in the morning here, which means it's 8:30 in the morning there, and I figured I would not wake him up on Father's Day. So I am planning to do that, and then otherwise we are mostly planning to hang out today. Sundays are kind of chore days for me. I do laundry and kind of get everything ready to go back to work during the week. I record the podcast. I usually try and hit a yoga class in the afternoon. So that is kind of what we're up to today. It's been a pretty good week. Work has been busy, and summer is finally here, which means it's really hot and gross. Yesterday was 95 degrees and a huge amount of humidity. It was pretty much like walking in an oven with a hairdryer blowing at you. So it has not been super pleasant. We did our best hot day activities yesterday. We went to the movies and saw Mad Max Fury Road, which was great. And then for exercise, because it is too hot to walk outside, we went to the local mall and power mall walked our way to 10,000 steps. So it was kind of a nice evening. The mall was crazy trafficy, and we decided there's only so much of that we can do because the mall, I guess the specs on the mall said that it's only like 1,000 feet from one end to the other. So we did a lot of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So, but we had a good time. Kind of chatted and just wandered around. So yeah, so that's kind of what's going on here. I hope that your week has been good, and thank you. If you are a first-time viewer, I hope you enjoy catching up with me a little bit, and show you a few projects. And if you are returning, thank you for coming back and spending a little bit of time with me. So we'll get right into the regular show format. Today I am drinking a tea that I got from Danny from the Little Bobbins podcast, and if you haven't watched her, you should. Unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly where it comes from. I believe she has a local tea store, and she sent some coconut tea, which she marked as her favorite, in this cute little spotted bag. And she sent me several other teas, and I haven't really had a chance to try them. I ordered one of her needle keepers, which actually I can, excuse me, show you right here. She makes these wonderful DPN holders, and I ordered one of those in the cute little sheep fabric. And actually I have to say that she was so sweet. I use 5-inch US signatures, the stilettos, but I ordered the 5-inch, and normally her DPN cozy comes in 6 inches, and she went ahead and made it a little shorter across for me, so they fit my needles perfectly. Anyway, I ordered one of those from her, and she was so sweet to send that with some tea samples. So like I said, I am drinking organic coconut tea today, and I am using my Skills mug, which is from Society 6, Batman Knitting, and there's some of my hair snuck in, but this is organic coconut, which is Danny's favorite. Ooh, and I can see why. That's really good. It's a black tea with lots of great coconut flavor, and actually in the tea, you can see coconut flakes in there. I hope you can see those. So that is really, really delicious. And I actually decided to go hot today, even though it's crazy hot outside. We have the AC on, and I always fight in the summer because sometimes with the AC on, it gets a little chilly indoors, even though I know it's crazy hot outside. So I decided hot tea today would work. We finally really had to turn the AC on in earnest this week. We've had it on just a little bit because it gets so humid here to keep things dry, but this week we really we ended up having to turn it on in earnest, like I said, and keep it on. So it's been too warm. So let's get on to the knitting. The last few weeks I have showed you the shawl that I am working on, which is Dawn Park, which is a shawl by Kirsten Kapoor. And I am using Mad Tosh, Tosh Merino Light, which is her fingering weight single, in the colorways Moonstone and Georgia O'Keeffe, and I have finished, and it is enormous, which, you know me, I do like a big shawl. So it has these 3 different sections. It's got the top section, which is the Moonstone colorway, and then it's got a stripy section, which is Moonstone and Georgia O'Keeffe, and then finally it's got Fisherman's Lace and a beautiful applied lace edging, which I did this week. So it is a wide shawl that I love, and I need to take some photos. I am entering this into a variety of knit-alongs. This one specifically is for Camp Loopy. The Loopy U does a virtual camp each year where you purchase yarn for a few different projects from her. And there is a June project, a July project, and an August project. I say that I am sort of a Camp Loopy wannabe this year because I am participating from Stash, which is allowed, although you aren't put in for all of the prizes and you aren't eligible to win. If you purchase yarn and knit all 3 projects within the completed time frame, you can earn a free skein of yarn at the end of the summer. But I am not doing that this summer because I have so much yarn in my stash. I decided to just knit from Stash this summer. So this is my first entry into Camp Loopy. I am also entering it into the Around Your Neck Cal, which is being run by the Suburban Stitcher over in her group. So that one is done. Cross it off the books. I am very excited. Actually, I guess I'm holding it the wrong way. It needs to go this way. And I am super excited about it and cannot wait to wear it. Actually, it might even work over the summer in the air conditioning at work. So I will take some finished object photos of that later today. Kind of waiting for, it's a little cloudy, so I might be able to do it now. I usually wait for late afternoon because then it's not direct sunlight. You can get kind of some diffuse light, and that's great for the best pictures. So I will take pictures of that, and there will be a couple of those on Instagram probably, so you can look out for that. If you want to see the whole shawl, kind of, it's kind of hard to show here, but that is that one put to bed. Last week I showed you that I was going to start a baby sweater it's called Boy Sweater by Lisa Chemery, and I was using Cascade 220 Superwash in a Forest Heather. And I have to say, I love baby garments because they are instant gratification. I have gotten really far in this, and actually my only regret is that I'm like partway through the neck right now, so it's going to be a little awkward to show, but this is the baby sweater. Oop. Hang on. Oof. Okay. So it is this cute raglan sleeved baby sweater, and what you're seeing at the front is the, ooh, and that's even a great color. That is the color. Awesome, because I couldn't show it to you last week. It is a top-down raglan, and then it's got these great cable details, and then down at the bottom it's got some twisted rib that is refusing to lay flat, but I will block that. And then I am in the middle of the really big shawl collar right now, and it will be tacked down to that front part. It'll have plackets and a button, and it will be tacked down, and it's just going to be this great shawl collar. And as you can see, I have a million ends to weave in, which I will do probably this evening. I'm hoping to finish this evening. I was actually hoping to finish it before the podcast, but I ran out of time last night. It just got too late, and we retired and we went to bed. So, but that is Boy Sweater by Lisa Chemery. Super cute pattern, worked up super quickly. This is the 3 to 6 month size. The baby is due to be born in August, so I thought it would be nice to have a sweater for the first winter. And my thought is that if it's a little big, they can probably even roll up the sleeves a little bit. So that is the color, much better, and that is the sweater. And there will be pictures of that on Instagram as well for detail pictures, and all of the information is always on my project page on Ravelry, and I'm Fluffy K there. So that was kind of most of this week's work, the sweater and finishing the lace edging on the shawl. So I will be working on new things this week. I am also waiting for July 1st to cast on for the next loopy project. I have my project picked out, and I didn't print out the pattern and bring the yarn today. I think I'll do that next week because next week will be much closer to cast on. And July also brings Tour de Fleece, which I am super thrilled about, which I will talk about in just a minute to segue us into spinning. But the first thing that I was going to say is, so I have about a week to kill between now and when I want to do all my July cast-ons. So I started thinking about what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to cast on some more socks for myself. But I have just booked a trip to go see Roxy in Chicago at the end of July, and I wanted to bring her a little something, and I was trying to figure out what. And I decided she might need some socks because she's walking and running now and wearing shoes, and so little girl needs some hand knit socks. So I was actually thinking about casting on a couple pairs of socks for myself with some great yarns. So I went ahead and wound them up early, and I have small feet. They're about a size 6.5. So I am going to knit Miss Roxy some toddler socks before I cast on for myself. So, and that should not be a problem because I should have plenty of yarn for her socks and for me, and probably even for my Cozy Memories blanket. So I wound one of those up, and then I brought the other one to show you. The first is this beautiful yarn, which is by Hedgehog Fibers. This is her twist sock base, which I actually used for the last shawl I did, the Almas, that teacup was this base as well. This is in the pistachio colorway, and it's got creams and mint greens and a little bit of pink and then little brown pops in there, and it is just yummy. It reminds me of ice cream. So I am going to make myself a pair of socks out of these, but first I'm going to make a little pair of toddler socks for Roxy, and I should be able to get that done in a day or two this week. The second set of socks that I'm going to work on is, I don't know if you've heard of Vesper sock yarn by Knitterly Things. A few weeks ago, she posted a photo of a new colorway and asked for help naming it. And she offered a free skein of the yarn to whoever came up with the winning name. And she chose my name, which was very exciting. So I told her it looked like a tropical island, so I suggested it be called Isla. It's got 2 shades of blue, kind of a periwinkle purple, a bright pink, a bright orange, and black. And it is self-striping sock yarn. I opted to try, she's back in the day, she just did superwash wool. Now she's got a bunch of new bases, but this is a superwash wool that is 75% wool and 25% nylon, 430 yards of self-striping goodness. So that is Vesper sock in Isla, and I thought I would make Roxy a cute little pair of socks, and then I will divide what's left of the skein into 2 equal parts and knit myself some socks. And in my experience, the couple pairs of socks that I have knit in her yarn, if I've wanted to use the whole skein, I end up with knee socks. So I can easily spare, with Roxy, it might even just be 1 full stripe repeat of 6 stripes. It kind of depends. I have to see what the sock pattern looks like. So I can easily spare that off of each sock. So those will be fun and summery, and I am going to also, not the baby socks, but when I knit the socks for myself, I'm going to enter these into Sock It to Summer, which is over in Amanda, who is so nitpicky. Well, she's wit on Ravelry and so nitpicky on other social media, and her podcast is not a podcast, and she does a Sock It to Summer every summer to see how many pairs of socks you can knit, and there are some great prizes for that. So I'm hoping maybe I'll get both of these done. I believe Sock It to Summer runs through the end of August. So 2 pairs of socks in 2 more months. I think I can do it. So let's try. So those are the 2 things I'll be doing this week. I hope that I'll get a couple pairs of socks for Roxy and then cast on 1 of the pairs for me. And I'm not sure which one because I love both yarns so much and I have ideas for both of them. So we'll have to see. So that brings us to spinning, and I will go back to what I was talking about with Tour de Fleece. Every year, every summer, the Tour de France, the big bike race, runs in France. And a while ago, I confess I'm not exactly sure when, although I started participating in 2010. A group of spinners decided to start Tour de Fleece, and it is an event that runs concurrently with the Tour de France, and basically you can watch or not watch the Tour de France, but it is 22 days dedicated to spinning, in our case, the fiber kind. I actually started getting really into Tour de France, and what I used to do is, or what we started out doing, was watching the 2 to 3 hour recaps in the evening, or DVRing them to watch them, and I would sit and spin for that entire time. And I typically get a lot done during Tour de Fleece because I pretty much ignore my knitting except for when I'm not home. So I take my knitting to work and knit nights, but in general I spend the 3 weeks spinning. This year is going to be a little bit different because we have, my nephew is coming to stay. He was coming to stay with grandma for 3 weeks, except I think he's going to be with us most of those 3 weeks. So I'm not exactly sure how much time I'm going to be able to spin. I also am going up to Chicago for a weekend to see Roxy, and that is the last couple days of the tour. So I don't expect to get as much done as I usually do. In past years, I've gotten between 2 and 3 pounds spun up in 22 days, which is amazing and great. And I have a variety of things that I have picked out to spin this year. I have a sweater quantity of some Hello Yarn fiber. And then I also have a variety of single braids, which will go up in the shop. And I am playing on the Hello Yarn team and the Southern Cross Fiber team, and then also the Mega Sal team. That is the group of dyers who did the colorways inspired by the Discworld series. I actually have a couple more of those that I might spin up. So I have big plans, even though I won't be home the entire time. And we actually ditched cable a little over a year ago, but NBC does a streaming pass for the Tour de Fleece, or for the Tour de France. And so I'm going to go ahead and purchase the streaming pass and watch along at home on the days that I can. So I don't expect it to be quite as productive as in years past, but I'm getting super excited for that and trying to figure out what spins I can get on and off the wheel between now and then. The Tour de France kicks off on July 4th and runs through July 26th. So, and there'll be a couple rest days in there as well. But it's just an exciting time, and one of those things I love about summer, especially since summer usually doesn't have great television or entertainment, and everybody's on vacation, and I just really like watching the bike race and spinning along at home. So that brings me to what I'm spinning right now. Last week I showed you 2 braids with red and turquoise. They were named Rocket Pop, and they are from the Droll Eclectic and were superwash merino. I finished the first bobbin, and unfortunately because I spun it straight through, it's kind of hard to see. There's a whole section of red under there, and then a whole section of white, and then all the turquoise, which is on top. I am currently spinning the other braid all the way through. I finished the red and am mostly finished with the white, and I'm just about to start the turquoise, so I will probably ply these 2 together in the next few days. I'm going to ply them on the mini spinner because it is roughly 8 ounces of fiber, so I want to keep it all in one big skein, and it will be a gradient, so one end will be red and one end will be blue and the middle will be white, and hopefully we'll have a little overlap in the middle between some red and white and some blue and white. And this is actually a custom spin for a friend of mine, so unfortunately this one won't be going in the shop, but I can't wait to see how it comes out, and I can't wait to see what she does with it. I think she probably wants to knit a shawl or something with the gradient. And it's just the perfect time of year to be spinning this. It is summer, which reminds me of ice cream trucks and rocket pops, and the red, white, and blue also remind me of the 4th of July celebrations, which is coming up in about 2 weeks. So that is what I've been working on and what I will work on for the next day or two. I did pull out another braid that I will start to attack this week, and I don't know how far along I'll be when I podcast next weekend, but I thought I would show you a new braid anyway. This one is from 2 If by Hand. They are great. I love their fiber. It is beautifully dyed, brightly colored, always really well prepped. This is Moon Pie in Polworth, and it is named for, it is one of their Big Bang Theory colorways, and I love that. And I love Big Bang Theory, and it is just super fun colorways. It's got a hot pink and a gray and some yellow and some turquoise, and it is just fun and bright and summery, and I'm excited to spin this one up. This will be just a fun braid, and this one actually will be for the shop. So if this interests you, keep an eye out because it will probably go up sometime, not this coming week, but the week after. So that is all I have for you today. I will remind you really quickly, we still have the spring into summer knit along going on over in the Ravelry group. That is knit something springy or summery, be it color, fiber, or object. Post a photo of the finished object and we will do a random number generator prize draw. This will be the last full week for that. That ends June 30th, and I will draw the prizes for the podcast, which will probably be the July 5th episode. So don't forget to enter that. Also, I will note coming up, I am going to be hitting my 1-year anniversary, and I am also getting really close to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So I will be hosting at least 1 giveaway, if not 2, depending on when those happen and if those can coincide, and it will probably be some hand spun or the opportunity for some fiber or hand spun, so keep an eye on the podcast and I will talk about that in coming weeks. So thank you for spending this week with me. I know it's still kind of a short episode, but I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments for me, you can leave them here. There's also a thread in the Ravelry group called Ask Me Anything. If you have any questions, please leave them there and I will try and answer them. And I will say, as I always do, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.